What's up, everyone? I'm Mackenzie Mitchell, and welcome to Threads. Today, we're in Orlando, Florida, and we're taking a trip down a memory lane with an iconic duo. They are two-time former champions, influencers, and new moms, Mckay and Cassie Lee. Jess, Cass.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here. Oh
Thanks
my
for having
gosh.
us.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you. And before we get into things, I just want to say congratulations on motherhood. Like, you guys are killing it. I mean, Cass, you're pregnant with your second. You look fantastic. And you just had your little one.
Yeah.
He's adorable. Congrats to you guys. It's so exciting in this phase of your life.
You're next.
Yeah, I know. Don't tell my husband. He'd be like, yes, absolutely. Let's reminisce a little bit and talk about your first ever set of gear. Do you remember what that looks like?
Yeah.
Tell me all about it.
Mine was a recycled dance. In fact, all my outfits on the indies were recycled dance costumes.
She had a hand up in the gear department early on.
Yeah, I did.
Gotcha.
I did.
As a dancer.
And Jess would come over and raid my dance costume.
Closet. Yep.
She'd like have
take
trips
that.
coming up, and she's like, "Can I come over and like see what you've got?" I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." She'd like, I'm like, "Oh, I'm not using it."
I've had them for years too.
One came back with a hole in it. I was like, "What am I
Wow.
gonna do with this?"
Mine a little bit different. I don't know why, but I wrestled in a schoolgirl outfit.
Well, you
for my
were-
first- I was everybody's favorite girlfriend.
Yeah.
That was my like.
I
tag
love that.
line. Yes.
Okay.
How I got that, I don't know, and it stuck with me.
Was that
and,
given to you?
It was given to me. Yes, I think by my now husband, who was a wrestler
Oh,
back
really?
then. His friends, I think, came up with it for me.
Wow.
So
And
I don't
that's-
know
and it
that.
stuck,
And it
right?
just stuck. So I just decided to wear a full-on schoolgirl outfit for the first couple of years.
I feel like a lot of people who start go through a phase where they're either a schoolgirl or a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader.
Yes, you were a cheerleader.
at school,
Yeah.
but I feel like
Cheerleader and
that's
schoolgirl.
common.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. And where do you feel you are in your life right now?
We're in our mum era.
We
I'd
are
say.
definitely
We're deep in the mum era.
in our mum era. But it's pretty special because we've watched each other grow up. Like, we've known each other since we were teenagers. So we've seen each other grow up into women.
Yeah.
You know, all of our 20s to kind of figure out who we are and what we want our style to be.
Yeah.
And then now we're in our mum area. So it's pretty cool that we've seen each other kind of evolve in that sense.
And go through all the stages.
And go through all the stages. But I also always want to be comfortable. That's my number one.
Okay.
Comfort.
She
Comfort
would say
over
comfort
style
over
every
style.
day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, every day.
Whereas I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I would say maybe now I'm different, but for a very long time I was style over comfort.
Yeah.
So when creating gear and your looks, then you had different mentalities. How did that work?
We had different gear.
Yeah.
It's just they were cohesive with like the materials and the colors and
Rhinestones.
right, yeah, all that stuff. But they were always two separate sets of gear.
Two separate years. And
Yeah.
I think that was kind of put into our minds early on in NXT because they wanted us to be separate.
Yeah.
They didn't want us to be the same person,
Yeah.
which we were. So they kind of wanted us to be very separate. So I think we tried to find our own styles.
Yeah.
And then when we came back as a tag team,
Yeah.
we just tried to make a blend of that.
Well, and we know like my style maybe Jess doesn't feel comfortable in and vice versa.
Yep.
We know what we each are comfortable and confident in. And it's like, let's just do us and then make it work.
Well, yeah, you're different people.
Yeah.
You know, you're allowed to have your own personal style in the
Yeah.
ring as well. Did you guys ever have a gear that you created that you thought like, oh, this is going to be it. This is going to be so cute. And
Oh,
then it
yeah.
came out and you were like, what the hell is this?
Yes.
I think everyone has that set of gear, you know?
Yeah.
100%. We were going for Britney's, I think it was her VMA appearance, where it was the beige, looked like she was like kind of like nude.
but
Sure.
sparkling.
Okay.
She had like, it was low-rise pants with a sparkly bra top. Very iconic, very Britney.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to recreate that for our debut at Impact.
Gotcha.
When we got the gear, we put it on and we were like, maybe it's going to look different on TV.
Yeah.
Maybe
Which
photographed
is often
differently.
the case.
Maybe the colours will look differently, and it just felt a little bit flat.
Well, let's bring it out. Let's talk
Yeah.
about. Let's
have
show
a
it.
look.
Well, I think the top is so beautiful because it is like bedazzled.
Yeah.
The top is perfect, but
Yeah.
the pants, sometimes it's hard with pants, especially if you're not normally a pants wrestler.
They're very hard.
They're hard because, and we don't like elastic in the waistline.
To get a muffin top.
You get a muffin top. There's nothing you can do about it. But then if you don't have it, they just fall down. So then you get this like this
Sag.
baggy crotch.
Saggy badge.
So, and then look at like the.
I understand.
And then so then you've got to make it high at the back so that if it does fall down, you don't get butt crack. And then, this is like, we're trying to find our skin tone, but then we get a spray tan.
I think if you look at the Britney picture and you look at our gear, there's just a disconnect.
I see.
You'll see where the inspiration came from, and how many gears have we had made? And this is probably, I feel like, the only one
This is the only one.
hit.
Yeah.
But, and again, I still love the top. It's just, like, if these were shorts, I think I'd feel so differently.
Sure. Okay, I want to talk about this blue and green gear that you guys had at Impact as the inspiration. The intricacy on this is just like, I mean,
Well,
like
and do you
none
know
other.
can you see straight away where the inspiration comes from?
Is it slave for you?
Yeah.
It is.
Knew it.
Ding, ding, ding. And we do have an entrance piece
We do.
skirt with it, which had the feathers exactly like she had.
Yeah.
And this was a different person that made this set of gear.
Yeah.
It was
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, super talented. Does a lot of like drag show costumes. So yeah,
He knew what he was doing.
So why Britney Spears?
We were just in our like Impact era, we were so inspired by like Y2K and like pop culture, specifically Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera.
Yep.
Is there anyone else I'm missing?
It was majorly those two pop stars. We were
Yeah.
very heavily influenced
Yeah,
on.
we had others, but we weren't there long enough to kind of have everything made that we wanted.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
did you have a different mentality going into the inspiration as opposed to the Iconics, where you were in your life, mentally, physically, kind of like your overall appearance? Was that a different mindset for you guys, or was it kind of the same?
No, absolutely, it was different. I feel like at Impact we could just breathe a little bit and we could just do what we wanted, but
We could
most
just be
importantly,
us.
and have fun.
Yeah.
So, and everything from our hair and our makeup, we were trying hairstyles
Yeah, we were going
each
crazy.
week. We would have like bubble ponytails and
Love
then
that look.
just all different crazy hairstyles and makeup to match the gear. And all our gears were just like so out there, and it was so different each time. So we were just having fun.
If you were ever to, let's say, go back to WWE or go to AEW or go back to Impact, do you have an idea of what your look would be if you guys were a tag team together?
I think I would still love to do our pop stars.
Yeah.
I think blending that with the Iconics
Yeah.
is our highest performance. that we
I'm so proud of like our Impact presentation, I guess, because we had so much control and say in it, and I think if we brought that to another stage, that would just be fun for us.
Yeah. Our chemistry is so natural.
Yeah.
When people try to tell us
Yeah.
how our chemistry should be,
Yeah.
we're just like,
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No,
Yeah, you
it
can't
truly
force
doesn't
that.
work. Like an example of that happened in NXT,
Yeah.
where they were like, you guys are not going to be a team, so start doing stuff separately. So we came up with these two completely different characters. And then, of course, they put us together as these characters and they have us do a backstage. And so we're trying to film this backstage as our individual characters. And they're like, it's just like something's not working here. And we looked at each other, we're like, do you want to just do us? And we were like, yes. And we hit it and they were like, oh,
Love
perfect.
it.
Like, yeah, of course. Just let us be us.
Exactly. You can't force chemistry. It's either there or it isn't. And the audience aren't stupid. They're going to know right away
Immediately.
if it's authentic.
I have to say, you guys were setting the bar high at NXT with your gear. Like, you came out the gates, before you even transitioned to main roster, you had a look overall that, like, you kind of set that standard high for yourself before you even transitioned to Raw and SmackDown.
I will say this orange and pink gear was our first tag team set that we had made in NXT.
So it's like, I don't know, how would you
Oh,
explain
wait,
this?
there's zippers involved.
Oh, yeah.
This moment is, like, everything.
I miss this gear.
I know.
This is good times.
We had the same bra top.
Yeah.
Slightly. Cass had shorts.
Yeah.
I had they were pants, but they were like suspender pants.
They were like shorts into suspenders into the
into like
leg
leggings.
covers.
Yeah. So, and then we both had this zipper down the middle.
Yeah.
And this was your first ever set of gear together as a
Tag team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the first time we wore this gear, and I love the photos from it.
Oh my gosh, we were just so like happy-go-lucky.
And we were so in sync, and I think at that time we didn't realize how connected our chemistry was, because then you look back at photos and we're doing the exact same thing in the exact same part of the match. And we're like,
Not knowing
no,
what each other's
not until
doing,
we
yeah.
looked back.
Are you sure you guys weren't separated at birth?
I know.
No.
I want to ask
I'm not
Kes.
sure.
Ask her mum.
Let's talk about WrestleMania 35 when you guys won the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. How long did you guys have to prepare for this gear? Like, did you know like well far in advance, or was it like a turnaround? Because I found out that quite often like it's a overnight, or like you find out in a quick span, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I have to put together this look.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you say that because yes, it is last minute. I think we found out how
A couple of weeks before.
like maybe 2-3 weeks before.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
you know when WrestleMania season is coming up. So you know whether you have a match or not, you be prepared and you get some gear made.
Yes.
You
So
have to.
January, we're like,
yeah, we're booking our gear. sets
yeah,
in.
we're booking
Yeah.
it in because
Yeah.
you know the beginning of the year is a busy time of year.
course,
Royal
Royal
Rumble,
Rumble.
Elimination Chamber, everything. You
Yep.
know, WrestleMania is the most important. So what?
You have
Let's
to be
start
prepared.
now.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think I feel like I followed your lead with our WrestleMania gear as well, because Cass really wanted inspired by Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
And I was like, perfect, I'm on board with that. Whatever you want to do, I'll kind of mimic that in my gear. And it was his, you know, black tights with the multicolored flames
Yep.
on the side. So I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
So we kind of came together really easily. We just
Yeah.
both had black gear
Yeah.
with the flames.
But yours
and-
was
a
more
bit
inspired
different
by
though,
rock, right?
Yeah, so the outfit was the same.
Yeah.
We had the same colors, especially on our butts.
Oh,
it
that's
had
right.
Iiconics.
Okay.
But I had horns made because The Rock is like my biggest inspiration for wrestling, and bless his heart, he wore just black trunks and calfless boots, and I was like, what? How am I gonna? I can't put a Brahma bull on my ass or something
Right.
like that. So the
We're
horns.
gonna have homage, but it not be identical.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, what can we do? So I decided to get horns done, and I was also a massive like Maleficent fan as well. So the horns were kind of like my little. So we had like a Rock and Eddie moment
Yes.
at WrestleMania, which was
That-
really cool.
That was really cool. It was like the two people who inspired us to get into wrestling at the WrestleMania where we won the titles. So
Very
I think that is pretty special.
Yeah, I will say for me personally, after WrestleMania, my gear sets took a big nosedive.
Oh, what? No way.
Yeah, I
Yes.
don't remember this.
Yes. Well, I was just extremely self-conscious at this time in my life.
Okay.
So I am being so, like low self-esteem and so self-conscious in putting, and nobody likes putting wrestling gear on. Nobody enjoys. It's uncomfortable.
No, I
It's
don't know
so-
how you guys do it, to be honest. Like,
The fishnets,
Oh,
they
God.
like everything. The knee
boots.
pads, the boots. It's no one likes it. But I was so self-conscious. I kept on adding things to my outfits,
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
and it was just I didn't know what the hell I was wearing anymore because I just didn't feel comfortable. But then when we came back in the little PC era, the little
yeah, I feel like we were
Yeah.
on them.
the Thunderdome.
I think that people don't realize a lot of the time that you guys, it's glitz and glam and it's like putting this outfit together, but then you have to be an athlete
Yeah.
on top of that. Like
Yeah.
it's such a different mentality that I think a lot of people can't relate to.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what makes wrestling gear so distinct because it has to be stretchy. You have to be able to move in it. It has to be bedazzled, but it can't be anything that's going to scratch the other person.
Yeah.
It can't have rhinestone that's going to fall off.
It has to be super high quality.
Super
'cause
high
you're gonna wear it
quality.
over and over.
I had lace at a point in time that rips every time you go out there. Like it has to be sturdy, but
Yeah.
also beautiful, but also be able to move. It takes someone very like talented to make wrestling gear.
Is there a set of your gear from the past that you feel like never got enough recognition that you loved and you were like, this is it, this is the moment, and then it just never really kind of like, people didn't give it the recognition that it deserved?
What do you have one?
Something
Yeah.
that's just come to me is the turquoise.
The turquoise gear, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that color was beautiful.
This is one where our colors were slightly different. I think
Yes.
just because the materials.
So Cass would always do, it was like a lycra, right? Lycra or a spandex
no
or something.
idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Like this, I want this, I don't know what it is,
The
but I
color,
want
she
that.
grabs the material.
It was a 4-way stretch essentially, but I always did velvet. So the colors were never in sync.
Spot on, yeah.
But it's funny because this is beautiful. Yours is stunning in this. You
Okay.
had white accents and I had black.
Yeah, okay.
But this was definitely, I had hit my lowest point in wrestling gear, I feel like, in this.
No, what do you mean?
Okay,
Like,
I
this
hate
is so
this.
beautiful. Guys, like, when I was
just-
scrolling through your Instagram to tell you, like, hey, can you bring these? I just was like, I'm blown away by some of your looks.
I think we only wore this once or twice,
think
to be
so
honest.
too.
I have to have a black or a white. And Cass is very good with colors. So she'd suggest...
What do you mean, a black or a white?
Like an accent color.
Okay.
I need a black or a white accent color. And Cass would suggest, we'd always do 3 colors in our wrestling gear. And let's just say she would suggest like a turquoise, a baby blue, and
I would go white.
I said you would? Okay.
Yeah.
But say for instance, I'll just say like a silver or something. And
Okay.
I'd start twitching and I'm like, oh, I need
Yeah, that sounds
I
so
need
good to me, actually.
A white or a black. I just need like a base color to do it. But she was always great with colors because I would never have
Because
thought
you
of
would
it.
want like a black as the base and then colors as accent?
Or a white as a base.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
See,
are you
that's-
just realizing this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd always sneak it in there somewhere.
Yeah, but no, like you definitely need that, like
Yeah.
like that
To tie it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But
Yeah.
I didn't realize this whole time like you
Yeah.
wanted a black or a white base.
Well, just or a accent. Like something to
No, I
to
can
bounce it
understand
off.
that. Yeah.
Because a lot of the time our boots is what you have to coordinate with your boots.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our boots predominantly are either black or white. We have a couple of colors, and Cass wears
Yeah, I
kick pad
switched to
covers
kick pads.
anyway.
I just couldn't handle the boots.
So you're matching boots as well.
Yeah.
Which is different.
Well, you mentioned the boots.
These are my first ever pair of wrestling boots.
Wow.
My PWA, where we trained, I got them made a week after I had started training back in 2007. So it was a long time ago. So they have lasted a long time.
They have
They-
lived their life.
They,
They
could
have-
still go too.
They
if you
could.
ask
Think.
them 100%.
They are really well made. So
They
it's like
are.
a purple, like a dark purple. This was a little brighter back in the day, and then black flames. And they're just a little bit worn at the front here. But when I got them remade in sparkle, so I had the exact same boots but in sparkle, black and purple. And then when Cass started wrestling, I gave her these boots. So
Wow.
she had them for a couple of years, and then I was like, don't throw them out, give them back to me. Because
Yeah.
it'll be nice to like...
It's like a sentimental thing.
Yeah, that we've both had
I
these
never
boots.
wrestled in boots on the indies. I didn't have enough money to have a pair of boots made, but I had these like random pair of like high cut.
Like amateurs or something.
They
right?
weren't
Or like
even.
Converse?
They were rip curls I bought from the surf
Wow.
store and had just sitting in my closet. And I was like, I think these might work. So that's what I wrestled in my whole indies. And for some reason, when we moved here, they didn't go in my bag. And so we were like, had NXT TV our first week, and I was like, Jess, where are my boots? Jess is like, here, you'll have to use mine. And then
So did you wear
And then I
these?
used these for a few
Oh my
years.
goodness.
Yeah. Until
Yeah.
we're getting them made.
And
yeah.
and you don't, and this is crazy too. You said it's got black flames. I'm just, as an outsider, pointing this out. You guys want, like, you have several sets
Yeah.
of gear that has
flames.
flames
Oh,
on
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
When you won the tag titles, you
Yeah.
had flames, and then when you went back to Impact, you had a set
gosh.
with flames, or when you went
Yeah,
to
no, you're
Impact,
right.
you had a set with flames.
Subconsciously. Isn't
Yeah,
that funny?
I love
Just the
that.
little
So
details,
maybe that's
yeah.
like a kind of staple with you guys, is
Yeah.
flames and
I
having
feel
that.
like flames on boots are very common. Maybe when I started watching wrestling, I feel like
think so
everyone
too.
had flames on
Oh,
boots.
definitely back in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that.
Yeah.
Well, we mentioned it a little bit. You guys are a tag team, but you do have your own strengths. You do your own things. You did a fitness competition, and when you brought in the bikini, I was like, "Holy cow!" Like, what? Tell me about that experience.
I had always wanted to do a fitness competition purely so I could just look like that, you know, and
Say you did it.
and say I did it,
Took it
kind
off,
of
yeah.
thing. And so, we were training with our trainer, Furlan Bailey, he's an IFBB pro, and he just was telling me about like some clients he's got training. He's coming up for a show, and I was like, "When's the show?" This is in the middle of the pandemic, and he said in 3 weeks. And I kind of like looked down at myself. I was like, "Do you think I could do it?" He was like, "Yeah, I think you could do it." And literally from that moment, I was like on. It was, I have never been so all or nothing on something in my life. And being on stage was great, but getting there was the shit.
Oh, I bet.
Terrible, terrible. And then like you had your time in WWE when you just were like so self-conscious.
Yeah.
It was after the competition for me. Oh my God, I thought I looked like an elephant. It was a whole mind F.
What?
How on earth?
Like what? How in the
It's
world?
Tiny. It's teeny
Oh
tiny.
my goodness.
Like,
Why did you decide on the green?
I just love emerald green.
Yeah.
Well, stunning.
I wouldn't even be able to pull this up on one leg.
Well, it's a memory that you'll have
For
of
sure.
like
And
a time in your life.
So proud of it. I
Yeah.
hate every August comes up and all my memories come up and I'm like, I wish I could erase these memories.
Yeah.
Because then I start comparing myself all
so
over again
hard.
every August.
It's so hard.
It is.
And Jess, I think a lot of people don't know that you are into acting and you do quite a bit, right?
I was fortunate enough to actually book a TV series last year where I was playing wrestler.
Wow.
So that was super special. It actually comes out, it's April, 7th or 9th. I can't remember the date exactly.
Congrats, that's huge.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super proud of it, and yeah, I can't wait to see it. And it's just so funny that I was playing a wrestler, and what they had envisioned, the character and the outfit that I was in, it was just so cool to kind of like see that in more of like a television aspect, not like proper like shows or anything. So it was really cool.
It has been absolutely wonderful chatting with you guys. I always say, like, we talked about the past. What do you guys have going on in the future? Obviously, you've got your show coming out, but what are you doing now?
Just being a mum, that's the most important thing to me, and know to you as well. It's the top priority, and like finding spare time to do anything else is almost impossible.
Yeah.
So it's just like, just for now, just putting focus on kids.
Yeah, and I think it's really special because we have accomplished so much in our lives that we're so grateful for, and we worked really damn hard to achieve that. So now we're transitioning it just into a different aspect of our life, and being mums is the most important thing to us. And that doesn't mean we don't have career goals that we want to achieve, but for right now, I mean, we're never going to get this time with them again.
Exactly.
So it's really important for us to be at home with our kids.
That's goosebumps. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been so great to have you guys. Thanks again.
Thank
You're the best.
you.